if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade.
Donald Trump reminds me of the white man's burden, desperate to tell the world what to do, how to civilize them. Nobody asked the British to come for help 200 years ago. Nobody asked for their help in 2025 either. Modern nations expect support and solidarity, not gyan from gyanis. US President Donald Trump wants to play the mediator, and how? Desperately. For Russia, Ukraine, for Israel, Gaza, and of course for India, Pakistan. The only catch here, the conflicts are still on and escalating. This is his new punchline. Though India has maintained that our military strike, which was so precise in nature, were always non-escalatory against Pakistan, intended to hit Pakistan's terror bases in return for the brutal Pahalgam massacre they inflicted on our innocent civilians. Eventually, DGMO-level talks happened, and then a ceasefire was understood. The USA also had a conversation meanwhile with India. They asked for restraint, that's great. Courtesy, that's protocol, that's interests, and that's investments in Pakistan. But Indian government continues to maintain that the ceasefire pause that did happen was because we believed our retaliations were precise. Our job was done for now, and Pakistan also asked for the ceasefire. But the USA continued to claim it's because of their president that, so to say, a certain peace has been achieved now. What was bizarre? That in a joint press conference with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Donald Trump again doubled down on the claim that he mediated a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. He portrayed himself as a calming force between two warring nations, topping it off by taking credit of having stopped a nuclear war, and that the reason because of which was his trade threat against India. Now, I understand if Donald Trump aims for a Nobel Peace Prize. I understand if he genuinely wants peace between nations. But the tone right now is not one of equality. India is not a colony anymore, and I hope the USA realizes that Indians have a voice of their own. And I'm sure other nations have that self-respect too. Donald Trump has every right to protect his country's domestic interests. India has the same agenda too. One, India-Pakistan cannot be hyphenated. There is no dispute over Kashmir. Pakistan invaded Kashmir in 1947, occupied parts of Jammu Kashmir, and wants more of it. Frankly, it is not even about Kashmir. It never was. This is what Pakistan intends to claim and internationalize the issue. And therefore, at this juncture, it's Pakistan's frustration that wants the annihilation of India and Indians. It's the theory of Ghazwa-e-Hind, and simply a negative vision that they have for their own country and for the neighborhood. So Donald Trump's plan to take credit also did kind of backfire on him, and I'll tell you how. We knew that you cannot trust Pakistan, so we were on the alert, and that's why we were able to intercept their missiles. If the USA was really the reason to hold back Pakistan or have a ceasefire, why was there a barrage of drones and missiles fired at Indian civilians and the strategic locations barely hours after the ceasefire was officially announced?
Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really good, a great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
mutual friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Now, good to see that the US president is appreciative of India. He still says that our elected Prime Minister is a good friend of his. But one can clearly see through a derogatory approach toward India from Donald Trump at this juncture when it comes to understanding our fight against Pakistan-sponsored terror. You cannot simply equate the two nations as if they are fighting over very similar things. India and Pakistan are not on the same page. They're not just two different parties. Pakistan openly shelters and harbors US-designated Islamic fundamentalists who have killed innocent Indian men, women and children over decades now. India is only responding in self-defense for its people. Listen to what all-party delegation member Shashi Tharoor had to say in the USA with regard to Pakistan. I hope the USA is listening.
We're not interested in warfare with Pakistan. We would much rather be left alone to grow our economy and pull our people into the world that they're getting ready for in the 21st century. Sadly, we may be a status quo power, They are not. They are a revisionist power. They covet territory that India controls, and they want to have it at any price. And if they can't get it through conventional means, they're willing to get it through terrorism. That is not acceptable to us.
And the USA should know better, isn't it? Where did they find Osama bin Laden? One 9/11 hit New York, and look how the American forces took over Afghanistan. In 2011, US SEALs conducted Operation Neptune Spear. They went deep into Abbottabad in Pakistan and neutralized bin Laden because he was seen as a threat to the United States of America. So that was okay. That is acceptable. When India finally responds after repeated decades of targeted attacks against its people from Mumbai, Delhi to Kashmir, those are branded hostilities. Those are asked to be immediately quietened down and then claimed credit for. Not really a good boast, Mr. President. You would think this is just about us, this is about India. It's not. Let me tell you what happened recently with the South African president. There was an ambush. There was a dramatic, theatrical shouting and a kind of a lecture that came in for the South African president, who clearly at the Oval Office, Cyril Ramaphosa was expecting possibly deals, collaborations and investments. But there was a blunder here on the part of Donald Trump. There is a serious concern, on one hand, in South Africa, that the white farmers are reportedly being attacked. There is a reverse racism attack happening. So absolutely fair to convey a concern. But as the international media reported, Trump got a video played. Only not all of it were about facts. The footage showed a memorial procession of 2020, September, near Newcastle, South Africa. The event, according to news reports, was for a white farming couple in the area who the police said had been murdered in late August of that year. There were crosses in hundreds planted on the road in the days ahead of the event, later removed. The crosses did not reflect the number of whites killed, but it appeared that was the suggestion through the video. Now, interestingly, Ramaphosa, to make a defense for him and his country, got specifically 2 white golfers. White because Trump believes, golfers because Trump loves golf. Do the world leaders really see how easy it is to possibly get the US president to believe, given his ideology, and to convince him with regard to their argument? After all the dramatic bickering all on camera at the Oval Office, here Trump also faced the jibe from the South African president Ramaphosa, who said, is USA getting sold to the highest bidder? Even though a dangerous one, Qatar, that is gifting a VIP aircraft that USA has happily accepted. Qatar is known to have helped Hamas extremists and others. African president said, I cannot gift you a plane, so apologies there. Then watching all of this was Elon Musk, born in South Africa, whose views are similar to Trump. He's the closest aide right now to Donald Trump. Was there a certain flaunting, as observers have said, of a white superiority alongside there at the Oval Office? He was at the gathering too, watching all of this unfold, and appeared to be in agreement to Donald Trump. Now, for Trump to say he wants a Riviera in Gaza, the Russian president is crazy. He's getting involved in conflicts and hope to resolve it, but from a lens that experts and observers say misses context and sometimes misses perspective too. His latest threat to Apple is shocking because it is against India, a nation that has consistently wanted good relationship with the United States of America. Indian Americans are an example of how they have contributed positively to the American economy. And also such threats with regard to Apple investments in India may hurt India, but it will boost Chinese prospects. And I hope Donald Trump realizes how he's eventually indirectly helping China. At this juncture, India is the good friend that Trump administration and America truly need. So perhaps his advisors could do well to inform him, tell him and make him aware that USA needs to support India in this good fight against terror, against Pakistan, to not simply play both sides and not with the tone that is coming in with regard to threats. Thank you for watching.